Hey, welcome to the podcast Domination Show, where we help you launch, grow, monetize, and dominate the podcasting space. This is a show where we believe that if you can get attention with your podcast, you can influence someone. And if you can influence someone, you can get them to take massive action. And if you can get someone to do that, you, my friend, can dominate. I'm Luis Diaz, your host and founder of Podcast Domination, and I'm your guide. Let's go. Hey, so I know you're probably wondering, why is Luis interrupting his own podcast? Well, guess what? I have a little secret for you. And I'm not going to whisper this entire commercial, but I just wrote a book called How to Get 100,000 Downloads in 100 Days, and I want to give it to you for free. Now, this book is going to be on sale on Amazon probably for about $20 or $30. We'll see. But I want to give it to you for free because you are listening to this episode and this podcast, and I appreciate that very, very dearly. So all you have to do to get a free book, a free copy of my book, a physical book if you're in the US, and if you're in the outside of the US, then I will give you a free Audible book version and a free Kindle or ebook version as well. Okay, so here are the steps. Ready? All you have to do is leave a review in the iTunes store for the podcast. If you think it's worthy of 5 stars, I really appreciate it, but I value honest feedback. So leave a review, screenshot it, and tag me on Instagram. My handle is @LuisRyanDiaz, LuisRyanDiaz. Tag me with the book review, and then I'll DM you, or someone from my team will DM you, to ask for your address, and I will send you a copy of my book. Maybe write a little note in there to say thank you, and we'll go from there. So if that sounds good to you, leave a review, and I'll see you on Instagram. Thanks. Now back to the show. Boom. What is going on, my friends? We are not in my car, but I'm still calling this Podcast Marketing Secrets in the Car because that's the name of the show. I'm not going to change it, period. Okay, so today I have something really special for you. I have 3 things for you, or 3 different frameworks you can use to grow your show. These are 3 things you can always use that are going to give you magnetic content. 3 things that people are always going to click on, they're always going to use, they're always going to be of interest to somebody. So if you're starting a podcast or you're launching a show and you don't know what to say, or maybe you're afraid that you're going to run out of content, or you're afraid that you're going to run out of things to talk about, or that you're going to be talking about stuff that's just not really that interesting, right? I'm going to give you 3 frameworks today that are going to help you blunt this. And you can even start your own show off of these 3 different frameworks. You can go Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That would be quite hard, but you can do a whole show around these 3 things, right? It's going to be super simple. Anyone can do them. They're not like special things. And you're gonna like them. So, number 1. Well, I guess do I don't know if I have to do it. Do I have to do it? Maybe I have to tell you listening to the end of this, why this is important. It's really important that you get these because if you are boring, it will kill your podcast. I'm gonna say that again. If you're boring, it will kill your podcast. And it doesn't mean you have to be interesting. You just have to be unique. I'm not an interesting guy. I just I find shit that works, and I find things that work, and I go ahead and talk about them, right? So they're important because if you're boring, your podcast will not grow, people will not listen, and you will likely give up very, very soon. Okay. So, number one framework or thing you can always do, you can always refer back to, in your podcast, it's always going to get listens, is reading the mail from your listeners. This is email, physical mail, or voicemail from your listeners. So get your listeners to call in, either download that recording and use it in your episode, or you just read it off and say their name if they like. And this is always something you can refer back to. I listen to shows actually that do this all the time. Every single episode, they have a new listener read. And that person who wrote it is going to share it, and they're going to be really happy you wrote it, as long as you don't piss them off and call them an idiot after you've read their question. And then B, it's always something new and fresh. Like the listener on the other side of this, think about this. You're the listener. and they say, oh, listener question of the week. Here we go. Like you don't know what's going to happen. So it's a bit of novelty. What's up, Steven? It's a bit of novelty that you can always refer back to. You can always use. There's no work on your end. So using listener mail, getting people to DM you, getting people to, send you a voicemail, an email, just to get to collect leads if you're trying to coach. And then B, it's novelty. People love novelty. It's one of our cognitive biases. We always will be intrigued and engaged by novelty. So you can use this in your email scripts. You can use this on your podcast titles, all kinds of stuff. It always works. Number 2 is case studies. So if I did a podcast called How I 10x my income in 7 days, here's how, or how I 10x my income in 7 days, everybody would listen to that. They'd want to know. So case studies on what you've done. Maybe if you're a fitness professional, how I dropped to 12% body fat in 7 days or 17 days or 30 days. How I lost 66 pounds in 45 days. Case studies on yourself, maybe what you're doing, what you're up to, different experiments you're running. Like if you look at Tim Ferriss, he did this and his show blew up. What's up, Patrick? So Tim Ferriss did this. His whole blog blew up. He did this the whole time he was doing the 4-Hour Work Week, the 4-Hour Body, the 4-Hour Chef. If you look at all of those 3 books, they're big because they're case studies on what he's testing on himself. He was a human guinea pig. He crushed it. I love his blog, by the way. So case studies on how yourself is number 2. On how you can get very viral content that's always going to land with your audience. Granted, it's not hard. It's not easy to do this shit, but it works. And then the last way you can always create content that's going to engage and connect with people is listicles. So very simple, 7 ways to grow your podcast fast, or 7 ways to get 100,000 downloads in 10 days. These simple but very enticing, benefit-rich titles and hooks work. They flat out work. Whether you like them or not, they work. If you use them in your show, you will get more downloads. You will get more engagement. People will be curious as to what you're doing, and they will listen to your show. So, use them. I'm going to run through them again because we had some people jump on here a little late. Number 1, this is 3 things you can use, 3 frameworks you can use to always get more downloads, always grow your show. Number 1 is using listener voicemail or listener mail or emails. So reading off the questions you're getting in. It's novelty. People love that. People always go for that. Number 2 is using case studies, whether that's your own personal case studies or your own, or maybe clients or friends or whoever. You can use a case study. I would title it like how Johnny, reduced his insurance bill by 79% in 12 days. Something similar like that. What's up, Mike? And number 3, before I get off here, I got to go to a meeting, is listicles. So listicle content always works. 12 ways to grow your podcast to 100,000 downloads in 30 days will always work. So listicles, case studies, and reading your voicemail, reading your mail from your audience, always going to work. Those are 3 frameworks you can always use to get more downloads, to get more engagement, to get more subscribers. And ultimately, I think to get people who don't know you, who aren't in your world already, to get them curious enough to click and then start to consume your content and start to go down the rabbit hole of whatever you're trying to sell or whatever you're pitching, whatever your mission is, right? So that's it, guys. Love all y'all on here, all y'all my buddies. So I'll catch y'all later. Got a meeting to run to. Peace out.
Hey, what's up? Lewis again, and I get asked this question a lot, so I wanted to answer it here for you in a unique manner. And that question is, Lewis, what exactly do you do? How do you help podcasters? What exactly do you and what does Podcast Domination really help with? Well, instead of me sitting here and telling you all the amazing stuff about us, I thought it'd be fun and interesting for you guys to hear what our clients are saying. So here you go. Please enjoy.
Lewis literally makes my life so much easier. All I have to do is record my content. I don't have to worry about editing it. I don't have to worry about writing show notes. I don't have to create any of my graphics to promote it. He literally does everything for me.
We hired Lewis to kind of help us set up the podcast, for us to put our content out and kind of grow our brand. And all I really have to say, it's been a huge success. It's been really easy. Lewis and his whole team have made the whole process easy, from setting it up originally, which with podcasts is kind of intimidating, and there's a lot of things that if you don't know a lot about the platform, that it's very time consuming. So Lewis made all of that easy.
In the beginning, I'm not going to lie, I was completely overwhelmed, confused, stressed out, because I went on YouTube trying to figure out how to set up a successful podcast. And actually going on YouTube, I was just bombarded by so much information that I just wanted to give up on the idea. And then I met a good friend of ours that introduced me to Lewis, and we hit it off. And he just said to me, it's really, really simple. I will take care of everything for you. I think what Lewis has done for me has made it seem so painless. He has took my idea and saved me money, he saved me time and energy, and more importantly, he's made my Persistence Factor podcast sound professional.
Well, I hope you enjoyed those sound bites as much as I enjoyed putting them together. If you have any questions about how we can help you grow, launch, or further your podcasting efforts, feel free to reach out to me at Lewis@Podcast Domination, or you can reach out to my team and ask them some questions. hello@podcastdomination.co. Both are .co. Just make sure keep that in mind. Anyways, I'll see you on the next episode. And until next time, keep dominating.